friends. It is not quite moving day yet, but it is packing day. So if you can't really tell by my voice, I really just woke up and made myself some coffee, some breakfast. I'm going to do a little bit of editing first, but today's July 4th and I move on July 8th. So today is going to be the beginning of our packing. Today, really the only goal is to get really the small things that I don't really need packed away so that they can just be moved once we get to Saturday. I've also had my new mattress and bed frame delivered. The bed frame isn't here yet, but the mattress is here, so I at least have somewhere to sleep in the new place. And I'm also going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A as we are packing and getting everything moved over to the new place. I am excited and not excited and just really feeling a mix of emotions right now. So I know that this is going to be a task. Definitely not as big of a task as moving across the country was. I absolutely know that the plants that I am bringing are much larger than when I moved across the country, and that's going to be an issue for me. I mean, look at this single plant. She's massive. So that's going to be an issue. I probably will be getting rid of a few plants because I just can't take all of these because I'm going into a smaller place, which I'm okay with. I'm really trying to embrace more of a minimal lifestyle. So let's get into the video where we're gonna be packing, answering questions, and just kind of talking about life. I have these little privacy screens and you probably can't see them because it's so backlit, but they're just cling on type things. I'm gonna clean them up and then take them off and get them in the box that I'm packing presently with the books in it. I have one more section of this in the laundry room because there's a little window which has a plant in it. Again, backlit, but this one's next. Okay, so up next is going to be probably the biggest thing I'm going to have to do, which is getting all of the kitchen stuff packed, because I did mention that I don't have furniture, but everything in the kitchen is mine. So I think my first task is going to be clean this area because it is an absolute pigsty. But every single thing in this cabinet is mine and it's breakable, and I want to make sure that it gets packed safely. I put an anonymous Q&A up on Instagram so we could chat while we're packing. And one of the questions I got was, how is my mother, Dixie, handling the move? To be honest, she doesn't really have to handle it because we live thousands of miles apart. I'm assuming the person that asked this wants to know more about how is my mother handling the breakup. But honestly, since she's so far removed from it, it hurts her. And she definitely loves helping me do life, so I'm sure she'd prefer to be here helping me move, but she has her own things going on, so I would say that she's probably handling it well because I'm handling it well. We are getting the larger appliances boxed back up. So I cleaned this up, got this area clean. This is what I'm going to be packing most of the dishes. Now I just have to figure out how this goes back in here. I think that's it. This is also a great opportunity to really give all of my things a thorough cleaning because, cleaning things like this gets away from you when you're using them every day and just kind of going with it. Okay, so I I've got everything organized into its kind of sections. I am missing one of these plates, so I'll have to figure out where that is, but I am gonna try and use things that I already own as boxes. So my cooler, which has obviously a hard case, also go support your national parks. So I am going to put probably the glass stuff just wrapped up in it so it can't really be hit or injured from the outside, right? If it's gonna break, it's gonna be because it's being jostled around, not because something hit the box. So I think that's where most of the glass things are gonna go, because I have 6 glass cups. My espresso cup is glass. I have another pitcher that's glass and a mug that's glass. And I really like the glass look, if you couldn't tell, and black, but that's gonna be my plan for that. Okay, let's see if I can find some bubble wrap, and then maybe not bubble wrap, maybe I need to find some like paper layering or something, and then get these wrapped up. And I'm gonna pretty much unpack this stuff, use the wrapping that's on it as the new wrapping for everything else. Basically do a little flip flop. Another question I got was, where am I moving? And it's not really that exciting, honestly. I'm just moving down the street. I'm presently in Fountain Hills, and I'll be moving to Scottsdale. Nothing really to report on that, honestly. I'm not moving states. I'm not doing anything crazy like that. Just a normal moving vlog. I am downsizing though, so that is going to be basically my biggest, not issue, but the biggest obstacle I'll have to figure out is how I'm gonna go about all this stuff existing, because I just have less room, which is fine with me, honestly. I think I'm really getting into not having as many things. Like, I really feel like I don't need stuff. I'll see something and I'm like, wow, that's really cool, and I'll appreciate it, but that doesn't mean that I need to bring it home. That's just hoarding, in my opinion. And I've come to realize that honestly life is a little bit easier when you don't try to keep everything. So I'm gonna get these swapped out and then move on to something else. Honestly, this is gonna be pretty boring watching me do all these things, so I'll probably skip over filming a lot of it and just get to the fun part of like actually moving stuff and organizing the new place and just kind of figuring out my life, I guess. So stick around for that. I won't make you watch anything too boring, I promise you that. I love how this just looks like a coffee display, but it's really just like a third of the coffee things I have. I honestly didn't even know that I had matching like coffee equipment, if that makes sense. These were ordered at completely separate times, like years apart. That's pretty cool now that I notice it. Anyway, I'm glad I saved the boxes to put them back in. So it looks like coffee's gonna have its own bag, and I'm honestly not mad about it. We are making some good progress as far as just organization. So I mean, these two are pretty much all books, a little bit of journals, and then I'm labeling everything that I am putting away. So down in the cooler, I have a blue tape on it, kind of like the suitcase here. It says what it has in it. Suitcase has all the plates, and then of course the box with the espresso machine has the espresso machine in it. It is absolute freaking chaos in here right now. I'm not going to show you that for too long because that is a little embarrassing, but things are coming together. So I'm going to continue to just really push through this. I want to get most of my things packed today, because if I wait any longer, it's just gonna like drag on forever and ever and ever. Something I'm also doing in preparation for this move is making sure that all of my plants are watered ahead of time, because they are already going to be having a pretty rough time adjusting to a new environment, and at that, a probably darker environment. So I am trying to make sure that they are all happy before having to basically uproot them. And that basically just means making sure that they are watered thoroughly before moving. They're not dried out when we do move, especially because it's so hot outside, and that can really cause problems, honestly, for a lot of plants, especially ones that are as big and healthy as mine, I feel like are. So I'm gonna really try and make sure that I stay on top of this so I don't have problems once we get there. A few plant deaths are kind of inevitable when moving like this. And I have really large plants, and we're and I'll be downsizing, so I'm really worried about them having enough light and enough space to grow. But you know, it is what it is, so I'm just gonna take it one day at a time, and if I need to get rid of some, then that's what I'll have to do. But I would really love to keep my collection as it is because I'm really a big fan of it right now. Okay, so up next I'm going to start packing up some of my clothes, and I am going to use my 2 bigger suitcases. So this is a suitcase I brought back from Ireland, and this one I actually purchased for the Ireland trip. So I'm just going to try and fill these. This one already has one side full of like winter clothes, and that's primarily what I'm going to put in here as well, so any extra things that I really don't need for the next week, because a lot of people like to do the trash bag method, and I will probably do that for a few things, but for the most part I would just prefer that they all be packed away so that I can just unpack them when I need, because I mean really for work I wear like the same outfit almost every day. So I'm just going to set out my clothes that I need for work for the next week and then pack pretty much as I can fit into anything that is available for it. Okay, so the next question is, what has been my favorite travel so far? That, I feel like I really can't answer that honestly, because I love each of them for their own reasons. But if I was going to live anywhere, I would say that I would love to move to Scotland. Genuinely. I lived in Greece for 2 months and that didn't feel like enough time, but as far as sustainability, I feel like I really could genuinely put down roots in Scotland. Now, I don't know if people consider that their best travel so far, but I kind of judge a place by how long I want to stay there, and I really wanted to stay there forever. So that's kind of my justification for that one, but Greece was absolutely incredible, and while I liked living there, it really felt like it wasn't real life. So I'm not sure if I could stay there forever, but it was absolutely gorgeous. Like, if you're gonna see anywhere in your life, you really need to see Greece, because it's just, the history is so deep, and that makes it special for me personally. That's gonna be my answer for that one. Next question is, if you could move to another state, what state would it be? And I do have an answer for that right now because I've been thinking about it a lot. I don't intend on staying in Arizona forever. I'm not really a desert person, just too dry. It looks dead to me. Like, I really enjoy finding the like living parts of Arizona, because if something's not green, it just feels wrong. I'm not gonna lie. So if I'm gonna move anywhere, probably be the Pacific Northwest. So I'm gonna go with Oregon or Washington, but I've never lived in either of those states. I've never even been to Oregon, so that would be a trial run basis.
Hello, dear.
What's up?
Playing with clips in the upright freezer. Now, like I said, trying to put these metal clips in because you move the shelf at a different place.
That's good.
So what are you up to?
Packing. Okay, so I've got most of my clothes organized. This is just a few summer things that I could wear in the next week. All of this will go in a trash bag together. It's mostly like winter, long sleeves, coats, that type of thing, and then just normal t-shirts that I have hung for whatever reason. Honestly, I don't really like hanging t-shirts, so I'm surprised these have been hung at all. And then, of course, my swimsuits that I use when I go swimming for exercise rather than for pleasure. I am baffled that I have done this so quickly, but then again, the rest of it looks like this. So we've got a pile of tank tops here, which I'm just going to throw into a bag probably. Again, tank tops, but these are folded. Junk that was just in the master bedroom that I really need to put away, like Christmas decorations that are just being stored. This is the Goodwill pile, and then all the hangers from everything that went inside the suitcases, in the bags, and the tank tops. So this is our organization mess that we need to deal with, but I am pretty impressed at how this has narrowed down so quickly. Okay, so it's the day before now, and this is the situation that we're working with. So my mattress and my bed frame came, which is taking up a lot more room than I kind of expected it to. And then we have everything else piled up over here. I have 3, I think, boxes left. And then, I mean, this is pretty much like everything, really. I got a lot of my blankets into these totes over here, and just like any other kind of things that I needed, they got packed up. I mean, nothing really beyond that to explain. I got my closet pared down into just 2 of the hanging trash bags, and this is like big wintry type stuff. And then I'll have my backpacking backpacks that I'm going to use to store my shoes in as we're moving them. And then, I mean, these are just like, I can just throw those in the car. So it'll be perfect. This is extra backpacks. Why I need that, nobody knows. But anyway, I got all of my closet into boxes, and like I don't even have like any more clothes in my drawers. Like they're pretty much completely empty, literally a sock. So I mean I think we're on a good track. Really. There's really nothing else I have to do except for all of my toiletries, all my bathroom stuff, which is actually going to be a lot more than I think it's going to be now that I'm thinking about it. And then all of the plants. And the plants are going to be a slow process, but I'm going to try and get them kind of all into one area so I can identify how much I really have and then go from there. This is honestly getting me to feel a little bit emotional, maybe. I'm not sure. I have a mix of emotions because, you know, the situation's not exactly ideal. I am listening to the new Taylor Swift album because it is July 7th, so duh, absolutely. But I wanted to update you on the plants. So, first of all, there's a lot of them. But second of all, I have condensed pretty much everything into this room, at least everything that sits, if that makes any sense. Like I have a few hanging ones that are still hanging because it's fine, it's whatever. And then my really big ones are out there, and I'll show you those in just a second. But these are all probably gonna get their own separate trip together, and maybe like a box just to keep them from falling over. I'm a little worried about like losing leaves or something. Like these are really delicate, as well as like this one's really delicate. The leaves fall off so easy, but I'm not worried about it dying or anything. I would absolutely cry if something happened to this one because she is my pride and joy. I can't say anything about that. I'm just hoping this one doesn't throw a fit when I move it, because this is my expensive quote-unquote rare plant. It's a Monstera Thai constellation, and it just, ever since I've got it, it's been fine. It's whatever, but it's only put out this leaf, and I've had it for a few months now, and it's still not wanting to put out another leaf. So I'm not really sure what's going on. It's been growing a lot of roots. I can see that. So hopefully it's just acclimating, but now it's going to have to acclimate again. So that's really annoying. But as far as everything else goes, they are taken care of. I'm not worried about anything happening unless something gets, I don't know, dropped. This is honestly probably the biggest thing I'm stressed about, is getting these plants happy. As far as the big ones, I got them into, I did a little pot roulette because there was one that I needed to throw away. So I have this extra pot down here, which I'm going to take to Goodwill. I just want to make a note here that I took this to Goodwill and I originally paid $13 for it. And it is a heavy clay pot. I went back to the same Goodwill and they were selling it for $40. I need to rant about that because what the heck, Goodwill? And then ignore the absolute mess that this is. But I'm going to take that one and probably keep it because it's kind of cute. I like that one. But it's a bigger one, so it has to have a bigger plant in it. So my two big ones, really the only problem is my Big Mama Monstera, which is in a 5-gallon bucket, which doesn't really fit any of my big pots, but this one it did fit in. And I was using this as more of like a stand, so it was flipped upside down. But now I'm going to be using it for that. And then I switched over this pot because I think this one's prettier than that one, and that one is going to Goodwill. Goodbye. I will be taking this one as well, but I didn't want to move it because it's in an okay spot. And then those two, but they're smaller. That one I'm leaving, and that's pretty much almost the only one. So pretty much just a pick up and move situation at this point. It low-key feels really weird to be moving. Not every move for everyone is super exciting. So I don't know, I don't really have any other thoughts at this point on that. We can't move in tomorrow until 3 p.m. or after, so I'm going to be having a pretty much normal day until the afternoon because it's not like I can load anything up. My car only takes so much. It's just going to be multiple trips, and I'm not planning on renting a van or anything. I moved my bed frame and mattress to the doors so that they will be ready. I'm going to take those first. So that's going to be probably the only things that can fit in that trip. I'll try to lay my seats down, but I only have a car. It's not like I have a big sedan. So that's going to be the plan for that. And same thing with this guy here. I am excited for the next chapter, don't get me wrong, but it's just, I don't know what to expect. And I don't want to get all emotional about this, but It's really weird to not know what to expect next. I know that I'll be able to make the best out of every single day and love my life, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I think that's the dilemma of everyone my age around your early 20s. Like, you don't know what to do. So thank you guys for being here. It really makes me feel not as alone. And I'm so happy that this community is growing because it's really giving me a good outlet to kind of figure out what I want to do. And I obviously know by the name of this channel and what we do here that some of that is travel, and maybe this next chapter is leaning more into that. Anyway, I'm getting too philosophical, so I'm gonna catch up with you tomorrow as we are actually getting to this new place and the real process of this new chapter begins. Nice. It's a jungle in here right now. Okay, first things first. Welcome to the moving vlog.